Oh, didn't see you there. Look like you could use a little help. Need a hand? I got you. Oh, get you picked right up. Oh, nice and spiffy. No need to thank me, you're welcome. I always got you around these parts, all by your lonesome. The circus? Boy, you're about 2 seasons too late. The circus been out of commission since damn near last June. Heard there was some bad juju around those parts. Ringmaster one day tore down the walls, up and hightailed it out of there. Now, you ain't heard this from me, but you ask me, I think they nicked one too many wallets. They got their just dues coming to them, so they hightailed it out of here. But rumors do abide. Ladies, gentlemen, the circus is in town. Between the malformed orphan bear cubs, our deposed king, Post Malone himself, and an actual buzzsaw launcher, there's no shortage of interesting ideas on display here. This event really took the idea of fun and cranked it to 11. The Hunt team were building this up on social media ahead of time to be the largest event ever in Hunt Showdown, planned to last 3 months in total. And I could see why they were hyping it up. The sheer scale of this event is unprecedented in the event's landscape. We got Lost in Delta back, rotating circus compounds that can appear nearly anywhere on each map, a new AI, UI improvements, several new weapon variants, new weapons, new traits, new packs, and even fundamental system and design changes that were altering the very ground that Hunt stands on. We have a new quicker trade window from nearly 1,000 milliseconds to 70 milliseconds. Incredible. You can use Darksight now without wasting your boost after picking up a bounty token. An awesome quality of life. They fixed literally every bug that I had in my last video. I'm flabbergasted. They even added more depth to the audio with a shell shock effect that really hammers in the immersion of those explosions and how they would blow out your eardrums. It's no holds barred this time around. So let's dive into the good, the bad, and the ugly of Post Malone's Murder Circus and how I truly feel about this event as a whole. There's plenty of good, some bad, and a little ugly, but we'll get into that. On day 1 of the event being live, the 12th, I streamed day 1 with my co-host Deadman and a personal friend Gray, who I've featured on this channel's gameplay before. We had nearly 20 of you in the chat cheering us on as we experienced the circus for the first time. They absolutely nailed the atmosphere of this event. You should have seen my face on stream for the live release. I wore a stupid hat that barely fit over my headphones, but it felt, no pun intended, fitting for the event. I was giddy, smiling like a kid again as I approached the big top.
This is sick! Oh, dude, look at the art! This is so cool!
Luckily, on our first game, we were blessed enough to spawn directly next to the tent, so we got to have our fill and our time with it, without immediately getting mollywopped. I felt like an actual child going to the circus. I basked in the sheer awe of the big top in Hunt's world. The advertisements etched into the walls outside: Sword Swallower, Fire Breather, Flea Circus, Bear Cubs. Inside the tent, the shooting range was actually set up with balloons, giving you event points by popping them.
No. And it gives you event points!
Yeah.
Oh my god!
The place was surrounded by a ring of booths offering multiple avenues to spend your event points, whether it be ammo or weapon crates, your pack traits, explosive boxes, the buzzsaw launcher itself, and more. Hell, they even added gambling to the game with the David Fifield fortune-telling machines. These babies can give you nearly anything. And you know the professional gambling rule. You can only lose 100% of your money, but you can gain 500%. So keep on gambling. Side note, did you know that 95% of gamblers give up just before they hit the jackpot? Crazy, right? The feeling of going to the circus hit me like I was a child again. And no, I'm not fucking exaggerating. It was so much fun. I even stepped on one of those pricker bushes that they invented specifically for the circus compounds, so that your first time around, you accidentally step on one of these weeds and bleed yourself on them in raging Ursa Mortis.
Cool! Ursa Mortis!
Oh, there's the bear.
I'm gonna hit it with a fucking bat. Ow, I'm bleeding. Oh, he's raged. He's enraged. The clowns laugh?
Oh, how could I forget Ursa Mortis? How awesome of an idea was it to make them an AI this time around instead of a full-on boss target? I support this idea. They do a sufficient amount of damage, especially when enraged, to be menacing, but they die quickly enough to not be too threatening and allow you to focus on the circus itself and your PvP, because, Lord tell ya, the circus is popular. And their appearance is disgusting and wonderful. I visibly pogged at the unicycle on their back. I thought it was awesome. Crytek even introduced some lore in this event, which was exciting for somebody like me on a lore channel to see after the Harvest event for Halloween had nearly no lore to speak of. Crytek waited until right after the event launched to drop a fresh, lore-focused cinematic trailer with Post Malone having a full-on monologue about his history.
I used to be a part of something. I founded that circus, built it up from nothing. From town to town, maybe we'd steal a little along the way, but we always put on a good show.
I think this goes a long way to show how faithful to the world they were being with this inclusion of Post Malone. Yes, it's Post Malone visually, and it is his titular circus. It's business, and the name brings in new hunters to enjoy the world of Hunt. I get it, why they had to do that. But, in-game, this is the deposed king, a showman down on his luck. His circus empire was torn limb from limb by the corruption of the Heliostone, and now he's come back to take what was rightfully his. I think they did a bang-up job with his inclusion into the world of Hunt, and keeping it all faithful as we like. A deal better than Ghostface, in my humble opinion. And beyond the fun, the lore in the new content Crytek, you sly dogs. You had to have watched my last video because, well, not only did David Feifel comment on it, so I know you watched it, at least some of you, but you fixed literally every bug and performance issue I listed in that video. Every single thing was covered from top to bottom. I'm impressed. I didn't even have any of these recurring issues on day 1 or 2 or 3 of the event. I am elated. The performance is so much better too. I had great frames, no frame drops, and neither my recording or streaming crashed while playing. It's like they uploaded a whole new build or something. There's so many incredible things they've brought to the world of Hunt in the Murder Circus. Sorry, I don't know his name. Folks around here called him, what was it? The Deposed King. Hell of a title, right? One you're soon not to forget. One you're sure not to forget. It's a real shame you didn't get to see the circus when it was in town. They put on a hell of a show. Dancing, clowns, music, the whole nine. They even had, get this, I'm not kidding, 2 live bears attached at the hip. Can you believe that? Real live bears. I don't know how those poor fellas were alive, but I mean, I figure it was some sort of illusion, right? I could never figure out how they did it, but it looked damn near real. Even rode a unicycle. Now that was a sight to see. However, I've been sucking off the event for quite a while now. It's not all roses. There are some things I don't necessarily agree with or that didn't land necessarily as well as they should have. The Shredder, for example. While objectively hilarious and a stupid fun addition to the game, it stops being fun or hilarious after your 3rd or 4th time dying to it behind cover from down a hallway.
Dude, okay, maybe that shit is busted. He didn't even have to try.
He did miss a lot, though.
If someone just yeets 6 buzzsaws at any wall beside or behind you, there's a great chance those buzzsaws are going to echolocate to your location and kill you promptly without any counterplay. The weapon was a hilarious inclusion, and I thought it was very fun. But it's hitting a bit of a sour note for me these days, as well as many other people. Then there's more, such as party voice chat being added. I liked it before. While VoIP would reveal your position, it was immersive to have to talk to your teammates in-game through the microphone. It really helped you to feel like you were a hunter in Louisiana with 2 other bumfucks you barely know, contracted by the AHA to banish these demons back to the pits of hell. But I took a step back for a few days. I reflected on my thoughts, and I thought about it a lot actually. And honestly, what's the fucking difference? Almost everyone I know refuses to play hunt trios with randoms, so they aren't playing solo, and they aren't using in-game VoIP if not for memes. They're in a Discord call anyways, and this is breaking their own immersion on their own accord. Discord feels natural because we use it for fucking everything, right? But it truly does break the immersion of Hunt if you think about it even a little bit. At least in-game, the party voice chat can be chalked up to some Bayou voodoo bullshit, right? I can't do that for Discord. After all, every hunter has canonically had the voodoo goop injected into their veins. It's how we're able to resurrect from the dead or control beetles with our minds. Even in the tutorial, Hunter Showdown talks to you telepathically, so it's not unreasonable to assume that us hunters can do it as well in the party voice chat. So, while it feels non-immersive at a glance, when you break it down to its core, it's really not a big deal. Plus, you could justify it yourself if you really try. And while their performance was incredible for me, we did still have server issues. By God, we had server issues on day 1, on day 2, and day 3. Matches randomly failing to connect and kicking us back to the lobby. Random disconnects in game that may or may not allow you to reconnect. Rubber banding, etc. It's probably due to the amount of players or something. I don't really know, I'm not an expert. But I was really hoping the servers would have been amped up for an event of this caliber. It isn't consistent or constant. I don't want to blow smoke up your ass. We had plenty of games with no server issues. But it's definitely noticeable and noticeably annoying. There's also some negative things that I actually agree with. I support the nerfs that came down on certain custom ammo types, primarily Dum Dum, for example. I support the nerf to the uppercut and the buff to the Spectre. The packs, while somewhat unbalanced, are super fun this time around, and the new interactivity Crytek has added to Darkseid adds so much gameplay depth. Dude, you could use Poltergeist in the most creative of ways. Safely open a window to peek it, close windows and doors to cover your escape, trick people in a fight by opening a door behind them to curve their focus. The fun and creativity really was the focus with the Murder Circus event. Even the major concerns of Reddit and other social medias, the recovery shot is not a big deal. Let me explain. The recovery shot is the most expensive injectable consumable. Plus, when you think about it, you are dedicating an entire consumable slot, a highly contested slot, to plan for failure. If you take a recovery shot to restore your lost health chunk, 1 health chunk by the way, you're essentially planning for someone on your team, or yourself for that matter, to bite the dust. Whereas every other consumable is a preventative to help stop you from dying in the first place. If someone wants to spend the exorbitant amount of hunt dollars to take 4 recovery shots into a match, fucking let them. They won't have stamina shots, rejuice, or antidotes, or anything else for that matter. It's such an expensive waste of your consumable slots, it's a novelty. I don't think the recovery shot is going to do anything but be a clutch, once in a while poggers consumable that will be fun for some people to take into their matches. I could easily see that one guy in your friend group who refuses to prestige and has 2 million hunt dollars. That guy could easily take one of these every single match just to be the guy who helps out the first person to get shot by a Maynard sniper bushwookie and die, but nothing more. I don't think the recovery shot is ever going to be a balance issue.
A little man came up to me, offered to trade me something powerful and magic if I just let him join the circus and disappear. He called it the Helio Stone. It was an ugly thing. Carved rock in the shape of a sun with a demon's face in the center. Like a fool, I said yes.
But that's really all I had to bitch about. Oh, and the Annie Oakley skin isn't in the game yet. A lot of people are mad about that, but I mean, I get it. It's a 3-month event, right? They're probably saving it for later. We'll get it eventually. So, party voice, server issues, and some balance issues, particularly with the Shredder and Blademancer. By God, yoinking a frickin' arrow out of somebody's neck from a mile away is not balanced. Absolutely everything else is incredible. The Battle Pass has great skins in it. The Week 1 challenges weren't punishing this time around. The circus compounds are filled to the brim with chests to open, things to interact with, immersion to take in, bask in. There's so much life breathed into this event from top to bottom. I was unironically having so much fun that one of my viewers got a screen grab of me smiling with my stupid fucking hat on, and we made a sticker out of it in my community Discord. Link in the description, by the way. The music is incredible, the art direction is wonderful, the performance is back to being stellar, some of the best performance I've had since 2.0 launched months ago. I'm so fucking impressed that I'm surprised with the sheer amount this update brought to the table. If you go and read the patch notes, it is a daunting task. It is a damn essay level editorial of stuff they brought to the table with this update. It's not just Post Malone or the Circus. This is an incredibly huge update for so many things in the game. But if you really don't want to participate in this update because Post Malone is in it, I can't blame you. I really can't. Stick to your guns and be true to yourself. But dear God, if any of you could look past the Post Malone collaboration and just enjoy the update for everything good it brings to the game, quality of life, performance, new content, you will have such a great time, and it'll be some of the most fun you've had in years. Play Hunt Showdown 1896 in Post Malone's Murder Circus. You won't regret it. Trust me. Oh, you're still there. You've been resting up a bit, I bet. It's damn cold out here, though. You gotta be careful. Now listen, I'm sorry you missed the circus. I really am. It was a hell of a show. But I have something that you might like. Follow me here. When that circus was getting the hell out of town, tearing down the walls, they hightailed it out of here as soon as they could, caravan and all. They left something behind. Now, I'm not quite sure what it is, a memento of sorts, but I grabbed it and I tried to wave them down. They weren't having none of it. They kept speeding off, so I kept it all these months. You being a die-hard circus veteran, I figured you might like having this. Here, you take it. Trust me, you're gonna love it. That stone. Now, I don't know what it is about that stone, but every time I hold it, I feel so much better. I think you're gonna love it. Trust me. Also, side note, David Fifield watched enough of my videos to understand how annoying the Curse of a Donovan Stone was, and straight up removed it from Bounty Clash, which is back 24/7 until January, by the way. I'm overcome with joy. Thank you for watching. Consider supporting a small creator with $1 on Patreon or memberships. And most importantly of all, stay blessed.